Our politically incorrect segment tonight, a fat studies course at Oregon State University says weight-ism is a social justice issue. That's right. According to this college, if you're overweight or obese, you are now an oppressed class. But that logic means stuffing Twinkies down your face and not exercising must be the newest form of social activism. With me now, Democrat strategist and attorney Adam Sostrin, and from Red Alert Politics, Siraj. Thank you both for being here.
Great to be here.
So, Adam, let me get your thoughts on this. First of all, a class on weight-ism, I think that's very bizarre.
That was actually my major in college.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it's bizarre. I think it's a waste of time. And for them to say that this is the new latest victim, I think that they're just always looking for victims when it comes to the left.
Well, I think, if there's enough interest in certain subjects, universities tend to offer them. Perhaps it's a class that I might not take or I may take because it may sound interesting because I'd be so curious to see what the curriculum would be. I guess that's all I have to say about it. So
I have to ask, would you or would you not take that class?
It would depend on the other classes that are offered at the university. But also, plus as a male, it's so bizarre to be getting all these questions. I wish there was a female sitting here because I feel like anything I say could be bad or good. So that's where I am right now.
I didn't understand that. Explain that.
Oh, no, I don't want to explain that. Go to the
Okay.
next guy.
Well, I'll move on. Siraj, what do you think about this class? I think it's a waste of time. Every day I always hear about these new classes like lesbian studies or just really things that I don't remember existing when I was in college. So would you take this class, and do you think it's necessary, or do you think again that they're just trying to do this whole victim thing that the left normally does?
I personally would not take that course simply because I was a biology major in college and I learned about pretty much what being morbidly obese can do to your health. So I kind of know the scientific background of that. I don't know if I would. The thing is, with the free market, if it's a private college, I certainly don't see anything wrong with it. Of course, if it's a publicly funded state college, tax money is going to that and to teach our young men and women who are going to these undergraduate universities to take these courses. You can probably make the argument that our tax money shouldn't be going to it. At the same time, I take value in people learning diverse areas of academia, but at the same time, how much are they really going to learn and how much are they going to apply it into the real world? So I guess that in that token, Stephanie, I probably would agree with you. It does seem like a waste of time.
Yeah, I will point out that if maybe you are studying psychology, that maybe that would be a good course because it would talk about body image disorders and those type of things. And and it's not to downplay. Obviously, there is an obesity problem in our country for many reasons. I don't think it's just food. It's just our lifestyles have changed, and the items and products that are in food, for example, like hormones and stuff that they put in meat. Anyways, moving on, the New York Times came up with a new one. They are saying that white men talk too much in movies. Adam, would you agree?
I've never really thought about that before. I've seen Star Wars multiple times, and there were a lot of white people talking a lot in those movies, but it wasn't something that came to mind.
What do you think about the New York Times even saying this? Like, you're a white man. Does this offend you?
I in fact, was so offended that it was hard for me to get over to the station this afternoon. This certainly isn't something that's been part of, just my sort of everyday calculus of what I do and how I go about my days, what's going on in TV, if there's too many words coming out from the white speakers. But but we also have to say the fact that, of course we need diversity with respect to, television and film. And if there's not enough diversity, and if that's for the wrong reasons, then that's a mistake. And we need to have more diversity.
Okay, so you want every movie to look like a McDonald's commercial. So now there's a quota.
First of all, I don't even like McDonald's. I go to In-N-Out now. No, I don't want that. It just has to be realistic based on the person who makes the script and what it's about.
Siraj, what do you think? Are white men talking way too much in movies?
First of all, I have to shun Adam for showing his In-N-Out privilege. Here on the East Coast, we don't have such luxuries. But yeah, I mean, with respect to white men talking too much in movies, I initially thought, obviously, white men talking too much in theaters. Take me, for example. I never shut up when I'm watching a movie, and everyone tells me to keep it down. But you know, the benefit of having the free market is if you find a piece of art in the form of a film or cinema being too whitewashed, you know, you can go out there and make your own movie if you find the funding and you can find the characters that you want to portray in your films, and just go out and make it. And if you can get a ton of awards while doing it, great, congratulations, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I think
you know, white men talking too much. I mean, I know that one thing that they pointed at was that women talked too emotionally, and they honed in on family values. And you have to see the irony here. You know, think about Hollywood being very liberal, but yet they're still maintaining very, you know, socially conservative values, family values that they want, you know, their audiences to uphold. So I guess you take the good with the bad right there.
Well, I agree with you on some point on that, but I do think that they promote the opposite of family values and a lot of things I see on TV or movies or just magazines in general. But what I liked about this article is that the New York Times is finally calling out Hollywood and its hypocrisy. Hollywood people are constantly lecturing us, and you know, they always talk about the importance of diversity, and all of them are pretty much liberals, and then the ones who aren't have to hide or else they'll never get a job in Hollywood again. But you know, you would think that they would try a little bit harder to diversify their movies. And I'm not saying that they have to do that. I think, you know, whatever sells and it's a business, they can do whatever they want. But if they wanted to try getting other people in for the roles and it sells movies, then they should do that. But it just shows, you know, the hypocrisy of Hollywood. They're constantly lecturing us, but they're the ones that have the wage gap. They're the ones that have the diversity problem. And then, you know, they hide behind the laws that protect them because it's a, you know, it's a different line of work. It's creative work, so they can skip those laws. And there was just one last. We don't have very much time, but I wanted to get your thoughts on this, Adam. First,
yes.
Millennials are graduating from their mom's basement and moving into mobile homes.
Right. Well, you know, I think in a lot of ways that that's something that I should have done. You know, I've paid a lot over the years, and I do like the open road. So you do save, you know, in a big way in expenses. I was just recently at a wedding, and a person had just bought an RV after finishing, I think, grad school or something, and took the RV all the way to the wedding. I wanted to see the RV. I didn't get to see it, but he says it's great, and I believe him.
Siraj, what do you think? You're not living in an RV, are you?
I'm not living in an RV, thank you.
Good for you.
But we're seeing a growing trend with millennials buying RVs. I mean, if you're able to, you know, they cost around $40,000, $50,000. But, you know, if you're able to get like a 10-year bank loan, you can get payments under $200 a month, which is way better considering the fact that if you're in, you know, Washington, D.C. or on the West Coast in San Diego or Los Angeles, you're paying, you know, $1,000, $2,000 for a studio apartment, and you're hardly getting any amenities. You have to pay for internet separately. A lot of these RVs are being built in with Wi-Fi, so it's actually seeming like a more economical option that millennials seem to be enjoying.
I want to make a few points before we leave. You know, when I was 18, I moved out immediately because I wanted my privacy. So I applaud these millennials that are moving out of their parents' basement and moving on and, you know, growing up. And the RV thing doesn't really bother me, but it just kind of makes me depressed because it shows that the American dream isn't what it used to be. You know, we imagine those beautiful homes with the picket fence, and that's just not happening anymore. People in San Francisco are moving into like little boxes, and I am interested in the small homes. I think they're fascinating, those homes that have everything that are around 600 feet.
Pun, though.
No, it's so true. You know, when I went to, you know, when I was younger and I looked at, you know, other families or my family, you know, I assumed that I would have all these things, you know, at different stages of my life, and, you know, reality sets in, and yeah, things are so expensive today. It's so hard to get a home. So I'm actually thinking of cashing in for an RV after this segment. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, Siraj, I'll give you 10 seconds.
Stephanie,
we got to go. They're going to kill me.
To your point about being depressed, to pardon my pun, they are taking the road less traveled. So, you know, good for them. They'll get into the American dream eventually.
Hopefully.